This is a Sitting Ringside with David Penzer. Quick Fix on Radio Influence.
Ricky Santana, welcome to Sitting Ringside.
When I got there, it was right after the Brody incident. It was 1 week to the day after the Brody incident. So the towns were down, and I'm thinking, wow, maybe this was a mistake. But, Luke did me the favor. I didn't want to let Luke down because, he put in a good word for me. Didn't want to burn any bridges. So, I stuck it out.
Now, how was, if I could stop you real quick,
yeah.
How was that explained to you? Because, Bruiser Brody, beloved, you could say beloved. Some people loved him, like Dick Murdoch, I guess. Some people loved him. Some people
right.
Had issues with him. But, how is that explained when you got into the territory? And I know that a lot of the guys left either right after or soon after that happened in protest, and also they were afraid. I guess if you listen to guys like Tony Atlas. So how is that walking into that combustible situation, and what did they tell you, if anything?
Well, yeah, when I walked in, it was like surreal, because everybody was like, and it was the babyface locker room, obviously, and there it is, and here we are, and Carlos goes to me, he says, if you want to leave, I understand. That's what he told me, because he's the guy that, through Luke that I spoke to before the incident happened, and he gave me the start date,
right.
So.
Did anybody dare talk among the boys, even, out of the dressing room? Did anybody dare talk about it, or was just one of those things that if you're on that island, you weren't going to talk about it?
Well, you know what? Nothing was said, out there. The invader was nowhere, obviously he wasn't anywhere around.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the gentleman who had the book at the time when I came in for that was Don Kent, who was one of the Fabulous Kangaroos.
Sure.
So, Don sat me down and he explained what their plan was for me, this, that, and the other. And, moving forward, this is what we want to do. We know you're coming off national TV. You worked with all the top talent in the Crockett territory, so we're going to utilize on that. He took the time, Don, to sit me down in the office, which was, was kind of unusual in a sense, but I was kind of happy that was the case. You know what I mean? Because typically they just would, you'd bring in and you'd start work and see if you got over, right? They had a game plan, and I took advantage of it from the get-go, because here I am, and I'm down on the island with a lot of the legends of that time on that island, like Carlos Colon, like the Invader, like the Super Medics, and things of that nature that were already there for a time. Ayala Heels that were with Chiqui Star, and you had to do your thing. And I remember going to TV, another is in Cataño, which is, the home of the Bacardi Rum Factory. And it was kind of like, a little bit of a, dumpy neighborhood. And I'm outside and there's some females talking to me because I'm new talent, right? And here comes a guy around the corner running, shooting a gun back. And there's a cop running after him, shooting at him. And I'm thinking, wow, what? And nobody's flinching or nothing. It's just like,
and nobody's selling it at all.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? She's, that's all the time around here. Don't worry about it. So would you like to go get something to eat? Yeah, okay. All right, sure. Let's go get something to eat, But it was not just that surreal thing. I'd say it lasted probably a good 6 to 8 months before, things started to loosen up and the people were starting to, move on from it.
Sitting Ringside with David Penzer can be found on Apple Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, and RadioInfluence.com.